Hi, welcome to the Corner of Knit and Tea, episode 64. My name is Laura, also known as Fluffy K on Ravelry, Fluffy Kira on Instagram and Twitter. I blog over at the Corner of Knit and Tea, and that's where this episode's show notes will be. I have a shop called the Stash Buckler Adventures in Yarn, where I sell my handspun yarns. And we have a group over on Ravelry called the Corner of Knit and Tea. Please come visit us there. Hello! It is Monday, November 30th, and I am recording a day late after the Thanksgiving holiday week in the U.S. I hope that you, if you celebrated, had a wonderful time, and if you do not celebrate, you still have had a wonderful week. We had a bit of an adventure last Sunday night after I podcasted. We hopped on a train and headed out to Los Angeles. It was about a 36-hour ride. We left late Sunday night, about 11 o'clock, and ended up arriving in Los Angeles on Tuesday morning about 7:30 a.m. And my parents came and picked us up, and we went back to their house, and we got to see my sister and brother-in-law, and of course Miss Roxy. And we checked into our hotel, and that afternoon I met up with a good friend at the Knitting Tree LA, which is a great yarn store in Culver City. It actually opened after I left, but it is co-owned by a woman who owned a previous yarn store that I worked at when I lived in Los Angeles. So I went and we sat and chatted for a few hours, and of course I bought a few things which just had to come home with me. And then I went back to my parents, and we had dinner that evening with them and babysat Miss Roxy while her parents got out for a date. Wednesday and Thursday were family activities. I had aunts and uncles coming in for meals, and then Thursday was a big family day. Thanksgiving is a big a big holiday in my family. Let's try that again. I am Jewish, so we did not celebrate Christmas growing up. So Thanksgiving was our really big family holiday. And both my sister and I married men who were not Jewish. And so the way we have worked it out is that we spend Thanksgiving with our family, and then we spend Christmas with our in-laws. So this is the one time of year that I get to see my family, and we're all together, and we make a whole bunch of recipes that have been handed down by my grandmother and that she made all through the years. So it is just a really, really nice family event. And then since we don't see each other any other time through the holidays, we also exchanged gifts, which was nice. Miss Roxy got her owl sweater, which on Monday, my sister texted me pictures. Yesterday, Sunday, my sister texted me pictures that she wanted to wear it. And I think the best photo that we got was, it's this little one from the back. But you can see she's wandering around in her little owl sweater. My sister took one from the front, but it's totally blocked by a sippy cup. So she's just a cutie, but I can tell that it fits pretty well. And hopefully that will get her through this year. And I'm sorry for the reflection. You can see everything in my craft room. So that was a hit, and the Minnie Mouse hat I think will be okay. She put it on once, but she didn't want to leave it on. I wanted to take pictures, of course, so my sister promised she'll try and get some pictures. It fit, it was adorable, and the ears just stuck out just right, and it was perfect. But we had taken some family pictures, and Roxy was kind of overwhelmed with all the presents that were being opened, and so getting her to wear it and pose for a picture didn't really happen. So that was Thursday, and then Friday we just kind of hung out. My husband and I went and we found a disc golf course, so he got a round of disc golf in Huntington Beach, and then we went for his favorite lunch on the West Coast, which is Del Taco, where it is possible to get a taco and french fries in the same meal, or a burrito and french fries in the same meal. That is one of his favorites. And then Friday afternoon, we took Miss Roxy to the park, and she was absolutely fearless. She kept climbing up to the top of some really big slides, and I kept kind of following her to make sure that she didn't fall down, but she thought, and my parents were super nervous, but she thought it was great fun. So we have a bunch of those videos, and I posted some of the videos and some of the photos that I got while I was away. So if you check my Instagram feed, you'll find some of those. So, and then Saturday, we hung out with my parents, and Saturday evening, about 6 o'clock, we got on the train, and we arrived in about 8 a.m. this morning. following which we got some breakfast, and now we are immersed in chores. And we went and bought some furniture today. We had seen some furniture that we liked a couple months ago, and since we were both off work today, we decided to just go and do it. So it will arrive probably in the next couple months. It had to be ordered. So that is a little recap of what we have been up to. And I have some knits to show you, and of course some tea. It is cold and wet and rainy here today. The high today is going to be about 40, and when we got off the train this morning, it was a little bit of freezing rain. So I decided it was definitely time for hot tea. Since it is now past Thanksgiving, I pulled out my Downton Abbey Christmas blend, which I absolutely love. I got this last year. I don't know if they have it for this year because I bought a couple extra containers last year. It is black tea, cinnamon, natural flavors, cloves, licorice root, and apple bits, and it is just the perfect holiday treat. And I am drinking in, of course, my Downton Abbey mug. This was a Black Friday giveaway 2 years ago. I want to say this was 2013's Black Friday giveaway at Cost Plus World Market, and actually I haven't checked to see if there were any Black Friday giveaways this year that were Downton Abbey themed. They did some last year. There were 3 commemorative mugs, which I have, but I didn't even check for this year. And Black Friday is a really big thing here in the US. I don't know if it is elsewhere, which is the Friday right after Thanksgiving. All the stores have huge sales to kind of kickstart the Christmas shopping season. And it can be a little controversial because a lot of stores have started opening earlier and earlier on Thursday, which means that people don't get to go home and celebrate the holiday with their families. In general, I tend not to shop Black Friday unless I find a good yarn deal online, which I did this year. But this is where these come from. So, Downton Abbey Christmas tea in my Downton Abbey mug on a cold, wet, rainy day. Delicious. So let's get into the knits. If you followed me on Instagram, you know that I finished my NaKniSweMo sweater. This is the Moxie pullover by Amy Christoffers. It was my second attempt at a sweater this year, and I actually finished it with plenty of time to spare. I finished it on Thanksgiving. I came in at 53,559 stitches, so it even qualifies for that. And I haven't weighed it yet, but I expect I used about 1,000 yards of yarn. I actually have a full skein left over, and my sister kind of hinted that she really, really likes it, so it might become a scarf for her birthday. But I did finish it. The Moxie pullover is a yoked top bit with some shaping and then some raglan shaping, full sleeves and a body, and it needs a good blocking, but I have taken pictures with it on. My sister obliged me and was so kind to take pictures in my parents' yard, so let me pull one of those for you. That is right here. The colors are off on that, but you can check my Instagram feed. This was yarn that I spun for Tour de Fleece. It was Hello yarn, a dark merino and black silk. This is a good representation of the colorway, although it's not quite as rich as I would like it to be. In the colorway Waterweed, and it is blues and teals and indigos and greens and a little bit of yellow and brown. And I guess you can see it here, but I don't think it's quite as dark and rich as it is on, but I will take more photos and you can see photos on my project page. So that was my big accomplishment. You'll remember last week I was almost done with the body. I finished the ribbing at the hem before we got on the train. I did one sleeve on the train, and then I did the second sleeve actually when we got to LA. So that is my NaKniSweMo sweater for 2015, and I checked, and I believe I started in 2009, which would make this my 7th sweater. 7th? 6th. No, 7th. 7th NaKniSweMo sweater. If you are participating in that, remember that today, November 30th, is the deadline to finish in that. I will probably give an extra 24 hours for photos and close the thread tomorrow night, and then run the random number generator for prizes on Wednesday, December 2nd. So please remember to go enter in the finished objects thread. So with that one finished, I had a couple of things that I wanted to start, and you'll remember that I showed you these before I left. The first was a set of fiddlehead mittens. That is a pattern by Adrienne Bazilla, who is Hello Yarn. And I had told you that I was going to use some Sanguine Griffin Blue Bugga, which is a very teal. Sorry, a project bag fell over and I was afraid it was going to hit my tea. That was why I looked. It's kind of hard to tell. It is a very teal, deep blue. And then I had some hand spun that was turquoise and then shades of purple and yellow. And I thought they would go really nicely together. And throughout I started this on the train out and then picked it up on the train back. And I finished the body of the mitten last night. So it is a colorwork mitten full of scroll work. I knit these, both are probably sport weight yarns. I knit them on a US 3, which is much smaller than the pattern calls for, but my mom and I have small hands, so I thought it would be right. So basically I need to do a thumb, and then actually the mittens call for liners, and even though it's not an exact match, I have leftovers of a skein of, Malabrigo in teal feather, which I used for my Alina shawl, and I think it will be, they don't exactly match, but I think it will be a nice liner. And of course Malabrigo lace is super, super soft, and even if it felts a little bit, it will be that much softer. So that is my progress, almost, well, okay, not really almost 50% complete, because like I said, I've still got the thumb and the liner, so maybe a quarter to a third of the way there. But this is the most, well, other than the thumb, this is the most difficult part. At least the liner will just be a fairly straight knit and there won't be color work to worry about. So, and this needs a good blocking to get it to relax a little bit, but I'm pretty pleased with that, and that I was able to get that all done on the train. So that is what I worked on the train, and I need to do the second one. And actually she let me know, these are for my mom, and she let me know they're actually not going to Chicago until March. So this may get put on the back burner for a week or two while I work on some gifts that I need to finish sooner. The other cast on that I did, and I showed you that one before I left, is my Christmas stocks in my Stashing All the Way bag by One Sock Wonder. This pattern is Geeky Socks, which is by Way Long. It's a free knitting pattern it's a free pattern on Knitty. And I am knitting it out of my Desert Vista Dye Works in Uramine one. And I got almost to the heel of the first sock and realized that I wanted to do a plain black heel, so I stopped because I needed to come home to get my plain black. But this is what the Geek socks look like. It is, since it's from Knitty, I won't be giving too much away. It is a slip stitch pattern that allows for the waves, and I just love the way that's coming out. I suspect I will go another stripe or two, and then I'm going to do the black heel, and then continue on for the foot. And my goal is to finish these by Christmas. It doesn't have to be much sooner because I will just wear them Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. But I do love the Grinch, and I think this pattern is just perfect for this yarn. So again, that's Geek Socks by Way Long on Knitty. And it's from a couple seasons ago. I don't know exactly which, I can't remember exactly what year, but it's fairly recent. So, and it's perfect for self-striping yarns. So that is what I'm working on, and most of the podcast, it's super short today. I did not get to my spinning wheel last week, and then I did not while I was away, and I was planning to sit down and spin this afternoon, but I seem to have done something to my back, and I have been not very comfortable all day. So I think I'm probably going to park myself on my couch with a heating pad under my back and some aspirin and some tea, and maybe just sit and knit for a while. And I have lots of things upcoming. Just to speak a little bit about what I'm knitting. My sister asked if I would knit two of the, let's see, it was a woolly worm head hat, and the pattern is called Tubi. It's the one that I knit for Roxy, the one that has the welts on it. And I knit it for her in a dark purple. And Beth, my sister, says that 2 of Roxy's friends' moms really, really, really liked it. And so my sister asked if I would knit a couple of them up for 2 of Roxy's friends. So I'm going to try and get those done and in the mail to my sister this week. My sister also asked if I would make a pair of slippers from her. This is a little bittersweet because my grandmother always knit us slippers when we were little. And so my sister said, I could really use a pair of slippers, and Roxy could really use a pair of slippers. And I think I'm going to make my sister some of those felted clogs, the ones that I always end up making again. They are by Fiber Trends. It's a Fiber Trends pattern, and you knit it in Cascade. And actually the yarn that I bought on Black Friday, which should arrive today, was the Loopy U had Cascade 220 on sale for Black Friday. So I partook and got a couple different shades of teal to do my sister slippers. And as you know, I had already planned to do a set of slippers for Wes to replace some that have worn out. So I have 2 hats, 2 sets of slippers, and then I need to do those bunnies, the 2 Marios in the handspun, which I almost got to start on the trip. And in fact, I tried to start, but realized I had the wrong size needles and the fabric was too loose. And since I stuffed those, I like the fabric to be pretty tight. So I have my work cut out for me. 2 hats, 2 Marios, and 2 pairs of slippers. And then I have a little something else that I am going to knit for Wes for Christmas. So that is what you will be seeing me do in the next couple weeks. And then eventually I will go back and finish my mom's second mitten and try and finish my Christmas socks. I think that's December. I also have received a couple custom requests for my shop, so I'll be working on those, and I want to spin yarn for a pair of socks for myself to be knit in January for the fall into winter knit along hosted by Rachel, who is Welford Pearls of the Wool Spinner podcast, and Kate over at Stitch Addiction. Plus, in January, I would like to knit the Vita shawl by Mina Makes for her knit along. So I have lots of things to do in the next month, but a lot of them are pretty quick projects, and I think will be pretty quick, gratifying projects, just a little bit of instant gratification. I suspect I might even be able to finish one of the hats tonight. So I will try and get that done and get that out of here. And then I have a little bit of Christmas shopping. We have a couple big things coming up at work before we all go on holidays. And then I am hoping for a few quiet weeks. I know my boss will be taking his family skiing one of the weeks right before Christmas. So I am looking forward to a little time to just relax. Although it's going to be a few weekends before I get there. So that is all I have for you today. I hope that you have had a wonderful week, whether you have celebrated a holiday or not, and I wish you a wonderful week ahead. And until we speak this coming weekend, I will say to you, as I always do, happy knitting, happy spinning, happy sipping, and I'll see you next time. Bye.